Sorry, I was absolutely not paying attention whatsoever to the time. Not even a little bit. I was not even paying attention. Looked down, like, holy crap, it's 11 o'clock already. Where did the time go? Episode 149, October the 27th, 2025. Okay, the bidding is in full swing on the auction site. Um, that's that's where it's at, right there. The bidding. So lots of items, lots. You name it, it's there. I have not been through the entire thing yet. I probably will tomorrow and look at everything and be like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, there's stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff on there. Um, I might even add some more tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see. Some autograph stuff. Yeah, just wow, a lot of things. A lot of things. Anyway, if you need some stuff for the radio station, from the radio station, there's all sorts of stuff to bid on. It's just a little insane. It's all. It just really is. It's just a little insane. How's everyone doing tonight? Everyone okay? It's Monday night because the garbage cans are out. The green row of garbage cans that I sent a picture of or showed you a picture of a while ago. They're all sitting out there again tonight, so I know it's garbage day tomorrow, Tuesday morning. That's how I live my life, knowing what day the garbage goes out. That's about it. I had a Zoom interview today. How's that one for you? I've sent out hundreds of resumes, and this is my first Zoom interview. I don't know if I'll get the job. We'll see. It would be interesting, to say the very least. Don't know if would it keep me here in Columbus? That's the big question, because I have sent resumes to East and West, North and South. Would it keep me in Columbus? I don't know. We'll have to find out. I mean, I don't think I'll get the job, so. But you never know. Never know. Anybody, how's everyone doing tonight? Good? Perfect. Let's jump in. There's no bee tonight. I've not seen the bee, so I don't know if it got back out the way it came in. It was on its last gasp when it got in here last night. I have no idea. So I will not be using the fly swatter that I had to swat at the butterfly that was the bee in the building. All right, I'm going to keep this simple tonight. I had a long ass day. I've got a long ass day tomorrow. I've got to be up at like 6 a.m. I've got all sorts of stuff to do. We've got this auction stuff to do again tomorrow. So, all right, here we go. So, 1972 Motown releases Talking Book, the 15th album by Stevie Wonder. It had the song Superstition and the Grammy-winning song You Are My Sunshine of My Life. You are the sunshine of my life, yeah. I remember that song. I've heard that song before. I did not listen to it tonight because I've heard it before. Jumping from 72 to 75, 1975, both covers of magazine Time and Newsweek, Rock's New Sensation, and Making of a Rock Star with the titles, features rock singer Bruce Springsteen. Both covers simultaneously. This was after the release of his breakthrough album, Born in the USA. I countless accolades, awards, all of it. I just didn't make the whole list of it because, again, I was like, so much stuff. There's just so much stuff. Sorry, I'm going to yawn. It's contagious. Now I'm going to make you yawn too. I told you, I'm just tired. Long day. We're well into the double digits of work today. 1981 Ringo Starr releases Rack My Brain single, written and produced by George Harrison. It was also part of the album Stop and Smell the Roses. I did no research on that whatsoever. Ringo Starr just seems to be putting stuff out there that, I know a couple of his songs, but that's about it. But he just seems to be throwing things out there, and it just, I don't know if it sticks or not. So who knows, right? I mean, after the whole Ringo, don't send me letters anymore because I don't want to deal with my fans. Stop asking me to sign crap. I'm kind of like, I'm a little over Ringo. Like, really? Come on, man. You're Ringo Starr. You're in the Beatles. You're supposed to know that you're forced into fame. Oh boy. 1983. Ohio's favorite son, Hustler magazine mogul Larry Flint, supposedly pays a hitman $1 million to kill Hugh Hefner from Playboy, Bob Guccione from Hustler. This dude I never heard of before. His name was Walter Andrug. He owned TV Guide, the Philadelphia Inquirer, and 17 magazine, as well as Frank Sinatra. But apparently he paid a hitman $1 million to do this, to kill them all. Larry Flint's business manager immediately stopped payments, and Flint said it was all just a joke. Now, first of all, why does he know a hitman? I mean, and if you stopped payments, what did you stop payments to? I mean, if it's a joke, then you paid somebody, so I'm going to pay you $1 million. It's just a joke. He stopped payments to the joke to somebody who was apparently a hitman. I don't know. I'm confused by all of that. I mean, that's the kind of thing these days that you read about the rappers that are part of this conspiracy. And oh crap! Sorry, yawned again. I'm sorry. It's gonna make you yawn. But yes, he's claimed it was a joke. So I don't know. Is it a joke? Larry Flint was a wild guy. I've watched that movie a couple of times, The People versus Larry Flint. If that's an accurate description, he was definitely a wild cat for sure. 1998, then President Bill Clinton signs into law the Sonny Bono copyright term extension. And they just said that. So I was like, okay, that I do have to look into, because I was like, what exactly does that mean? Why the hell does Sonny Bono have anything to do with it? I didn't find out why it was the Sonny Bono copyright term extension. But what I did find out, it means that for artists, like a copyright, their song goes with them for the life of the artist plus 70 years. And if it's a corporation, it's 95 years, or if it's for the author, it's basically 120 years from date of publication or creation. So it's 95 years from publication, 120 years from creation. So basically he just gave copyright a lot longer term, because it was much shorter before that. It was only like 60 years. So now it's the life of the singer, producer, creator, plus 70 years. And it made it retroactive going back when it was signed in 98. It didn't, for things that expired, it didn't like suddenly make them back to being copywritten, but it did add a lot of protections to artists and creators. So I think it's still in place. I don't think we've taken that apart yet, have we? I don't know. Copyright protection, that's next. Let's see. Amy Winehouse released her second and last album, Back to Black. Now remember, she died by misadventure. Death by misadventure. So I think that's what I'm going to call anytime I read things that it's an overdose or something, it's just going to be misadventure. So I'm just going to kind of include that since we have one of those coming. 2014, Taylor Swift, Grammy, blah, blah, blah. 2023, Taylor Swift, something, blah, blah, blah. 1954, Walt Disney's first TV show, Disneyland, premieres on TV network ABC. Also on this day, the 27th of October, 1955, James Dean's hit movie Rebel Without a Cause is released. That was quite the movie. 1957, on this date, Buddy Holly and the Crickets started a 3-week run at number one on the UK singles chart with That'll Be the Day. That'll be the day that I die. Oh, buddy, buddy, buddy. It was number 3 in the US charts, but it sold over 1 million copies. Now, apparently, the song was inspired by Holly going to the movies and seeing John Wayne, who starred in the movie The Searchers. And I guess throughout the movie, John Wayne had this catchphrase, "That'll be the day," multiple times. So it inspired the young singer, Buddy Holly, to write a song using that catchphrase. So that's where that came from. I don't remember saying, I probably saw that at some point in my life, but I don't remember the John Wayne Searchers movie. But I could hear him saying, "That'll be the day," in his John Wayne-esque voice. 1964, 31-year-old Salvador Philip Bon married 18-year-old Sherilyn Sarkisian, I guess, LaPierre. For a time, the duo performed together as Caesar and Cleo. Eventually, they changed their name in stage act to Sonny and Cher. They lasted married together for 12 years. So Salvador Philip Bono and Sherilyn, well, that's where Cher came from, Sherilyn Sarkisian LaPierre. So she's got quite the exotic name, Cher. Well, she's just Cher, but who knew? I did not know that was what her whole thing was. So, all right. The Sonny and Cher show. 1966, the Four Tops were number one in the UK singles chart with Reach Out and I'll Be There. Reach out, I'll be there. Dude, yeah, that song. The group's only UK number one. I would think that they'd have more than that. The Four Tops were like popular back in the day. Who knows? 1969 on this day, October 27th, Muddy Waters was involved in a serious car accident in Champaign, Illinois. Muddy was seriously injured, and the 3 companions he had in the car were killed. That's not death by misadventure. That's death by car crash. 1973, Gladys Knight and the Pips started a 2-week run at number one on the U.S. singles chart with Midnight Train to Georgia, the group's 18th top 40 hit and their first number one. The record won the 1974 Grammy Award for Best R&B Vocal, and it became Gladys's number one signature song, that Midnight Train to Georgia. 1979, during his U.S. tour, Sir Elton John, while performing at the Hollywood Universal Amphitheater, collapsed on stage. It was reported that the singer collapsed due to exhaustion. I mean, I've seen Elton John play, but I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, I have physically done lots of things, and I have not at some point collapsed of exhaustion on stage or otherwise. I don't know. I mean, there has to be some underlying thing, not drinking enough water, dehydrated, hot lights, not enough food. What makes you collapse from exhaustion? Or is that just like, I'm collapsing? I don't know. I just wonder. Okay, now this is also, I believe I will categorize this as death by misadventure, all right? Former T-Rex member Steve Took, all right, the band Tyrannosaurus Rex T-Rex, choked to death on a cherry pit, a cherry stone, okay? So, he was also eating apparently magic mushrooms besides eating the cherries. And by doing so, the magic mushrooms numbed his throat to all sensations, and then he did not realize apparently that he was choking. And he, in fact, then died of choking on a cherry stone. So I'm saying that's death by misadventure because from what the definition was yesterday about the Amy Winehouse death, to me it sounds like if you take mushrooms and you know there is an inherent risk with that, then you are in fact sort of misadventuring. So by taking the magic mushrooms, he numbed his throat to the fact that he was choking on a cherry stone. So I'm going to go with death by misadventure. You could argue with me otherwise, but that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with that every time someone says they overdosed or something accidentally. I'm going to be like, no, they took the risk. They knew what they were doing. That's sort of an inherent risk of if you take a lot of drugs, you drink a lot of alcohol, you drive really fast, all these things. I guess that's death by misadventure. I'm going to have a shirt that says death by misadventure, just so you know. Speaking of death, this is not misadventure. 1980, on this date, the 27th of October, Mark David Chapman went and purchased himself a .38 Special snub-nose revolver. He paid $169 for that weapon. Mark David Chapman would go on to use his .38 Special to shoot and kill John Lennon on December the 8th of 1980. 1984, during the U.S. tour of the band The Grateful Dead, the band allocated a specific location for bootleg recorders to set up for their show. On this date, 1984, October the 27th, that show was in Berkeley, California. So if you have the Berkeley, California tape, there you go. It was recorded today. Did I ever tell you this story? I'm going to digress here for a second and tell you about a crazy spring break story. So on one of my adventures to spring break, when I went from New Jersey to spring break, we drove down to what was it, Fort Lauderdale maybe? I guess it was Fort Lauderdale. We stayed at the Sea Beach Motel. I do remember that. I went with a couple of guys. One's name was Vinny Daddio. Vinny Daddio was a tall, skinny guy, big nose. Hey, Daddio. Heavy New York accent. And I've for some reason at this moment, I'm forgetting the other guy's name. But these guys were kind of deadheads, and they had like all this music. We were driving down in his car, and they were way stoned, tripping, eating mushrooms, misadventure, whatever. And I'll never forget, we were in the middle of nowhere, like Georgia, in the middle of the night driving, and they had like Europe 72 by the Dead in, and it had been playing for hours. And I just remember I took the cassette out, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm holding it like at the windows. We're doing, like 80 down the highway. Like, I'm going to drop this. We have to listen to anything but the Grateful Dead. I can't take another minute of this. This is too much. We have to listen to something else. And they were like, no, not Europe 72. I just remember that was just such a crazy, that was a crazy adventure. The Sea Beach Hotel. Oh my God. These guys, honestly, I'll never forget this. We were on the third floor of this hotel. It was one of these old school hotels. So like the pool was here, and there was like, the hotel was on all sides of it with railings so you could kind of overlook the pool. We weren't there like 5 minutes. I'm not kidding you. And they had already thrown like the mattress in the pool, chairs in the pool. They had peanut butter stuck to the ceiling. It was just a nightmare. It really was. I don't think I hung out with them a whole lot. I actually met a couple of people from Boston that I still talk to. And this is, decades ago. But yeah, the Grateful Dead's Europe 72 almost went out the window in Georgia because of the fact that I could not take the Dead Europe 72 for another minute. So if you have that bootleg, enjoy. Yeah. 1988, the film Rattle and Hum, uh, starring about with the band U2, is released on this date in their hometown of Dublin, Ireland. We actually went to the U2 studios when we went to Dublin. Uh, Myself and Brian Phillips, we spray painted the wall with Andy Mann's name up on it. Brian had to stand on my shoulders to do that, but that was fun. That was one of the Jameson adventures where we touched an actual Knights Templar or whatever it was that was with a skeleton and a mummy, and it was all sorts of crazy in this catacombs and tombstones, and a bar older than, I don't know, Magna Carta. Anyway, 1 year later, on October the 27th of 1989, Adam Clayton, the bassist for U2, was convicted of drunk driving. He apparently was convicted because he got caught in Dublin driving while under the influence at 2 times what the legal limit in Dublin, Ireland was. He was fined $1,000 and had his driving privileges suspended for 1 year. I guess that's one way to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of your movie release. Let's get in trouble. 1992, Bo Diddley sued his ex-manager for wrongfully using funds. Apparently, the ex-manager used $75,000 for unauthorized personal usage. Seems like the managers do that a lot. You know, Sting, 138 accounts, $5 million, and that still can't get out of that 138 bank accounts. I was trying to figure out why you would do that. I guess it to be like FDIC insured. If you're, how much are you insured at each place is $1 million. So 138 accounts, $138 million. I don't know. I mean, it's got to be something like that, right? That there's a reason for that. One of you forensic accountants, figure that out and let me know about that so I can hide all my millions. In 2003, happy birthday to Scott Weiland. Today is Scott Weiland's birthday of Stone Temple Pilots. But on this date in 2003, Scott Weiland was arrested on said day of birth. While he was involved in a traffic accident, the arresting officer said that Weiland looked and acted as if he was on alcohol and or drugs. So they arrested him for said offense. Oh, my goodness. The charges were later dropped because he did go to rehab, and then he passed subsequent drug and alcohol-related tests. So they dropped those charges. I guess that's the way that works sometimes, right? You pass your tests and you kind of get that expunged. 2022, Being Funny in a Foreign Language, the album by the band The 1975. We love Maddie Black, by the way. Their 5th studio album was number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US. And several publications, NME, Billboard, Rolling Stones, Pitchfork, and Variety listed it as one of the best albums of the year. It was also nominated for the 2023 Brit Awards for Best Album of the Year as well. I do not think it won it. But you'll have that. Oh, look, I saw the timer coming. Oh, I'm going to get it. I'm not going to get caught. Ta-da, look at that. I saw it, so I went black for a second. Just for a second. I should have done an in-between thing, but I didn't. All right, Born on This Day. See, I told you it was going to be a short one. It's not going to be super long tonight. My voice is going for some reason. I wasn't even yelling much. Born on This Day. You got to be born someday. Lee Greenwood. God bless the USA. I'm just going to let that go. I'm just going to move right along. KK Downing of Judas Priest. Simon Le Bon of Duran Duran. Girls on Film. Reflex. Come on, Duran Duran. So good. We had them play the, Wonderbus Festival a couple of years back, and oh, that was such a good show. Very happy that we got to see Duran Duran play. I'd seen them once before, but that was like in the freaking 80s, so that was crazy. So yeah, Simon Le Bon, Duran Duran. And then, of course, Scott Weiland of Stone Temple Pilots. Happy birthday to Scott, even though you're now dead. And speaking of dead, the only person I found of any real ilk of death today was Mr. Lou Reed of the Velvet Underground. He was one of my earliest meets at the radio station. Was Lou Reed. Tom Tuber was the program director, and we got to meet Lou Reed. He came into the station. He was very surly. He didn't really want to do that stuff. That wasn't really his thing. But he did it anyway. I have no idea what year that was. I probably was early 90s. Easily early 90s. Maybe 91 even, 92. But yes, Mr. Lou Reed. Got to see him in his radio station, and it was very kind of cool to meet him. Perfect day. Perfect day. That would be Lou Reed. So hopefully it was a perfect day for you all, and you had a wonderful day. It was a little overcast, a little gloomy, not the best day. Tomorrow will be a perfect day as well, because it's going to be Tuesday, and it's going to be the 28th of October. Why not, right? Halloween's just around the corner. The auction, don't forget, that's happening here. So, there's lots of stuff, man. There's, pages and pages. And like I said, I need to go through this because I'm like, wait, am I selling that? Apparently I am. I'm like, wait, what's this? I'm like, wait, am I selling? Yeah, there's things in here. I'm like, these guys just like threw stuff on here. Like, oh my God, it's like, what the hell? So, yeah, like, okay, like right there, for instance. Okay, that's an autographed guitar. He has that for $200. Oh my God. All right. I might have to fix that, just so you know. That's autographed by Jack Atnoff from the band Fun. All right. I'm leaving. Thanks. Appreciate you. Have a great day. I'm fading to black.